Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. There was some divine intervention earlier today for Delhiites. After 10 days of choking weather, various parts of the national capital region received some light rain, making the air a little lighter. But mind you, the air quality is still under unhealthy category, and various parts of Delhi have recorded an AQI ranging from 200 to 300. The Supreme Court again today slammed Arvind Kejriwal-led Delhi government for its response or lack of it to rising air pollution in Delhi, emphasizing the recurring nature of this issue. After last hearing, where the court even questioned the rationale of an odd-even scheme when the problem is primarily due to farm fires in Punjab this time of the year, Delhi government today also announced that it is shelving plans for the post-Diwali odd-even implementation for now. The Supreme Court today asked the question which each and every person living in the national capital region should and possibly will ask every politician. Why does the speed of action increase, if at all, only after courts intervene? Our courts are fundamentally having to do what politicians and governments must do when it comes to the air pollution issue. Things they will not do unless the court steps in. We'll take those questions to our guests in just a bit. But first up, take a look at the scathing observations made by the Supreme Court once again today while coming down heavily, primarily on Delhi and Punjab governments, but they have reiterated their solutions are to be followed by all governments. Firstly, the court highlighted the fact that farm fires are still going on. They need to absolutely stop and the AQI has to be improved. The Supreme Court also said that they don't want to look at reports and data alone. What they want to know about is what is the step on ground that state governments have taken. What are the measures that they have taken? Apex Court directed states to implement emergency measures as people cannot be made to die. This is clearly, as the Supreme Court has been pointing out, a matter of life and death for Delhiites. The court reminded though that its previous order also which contains certain directives is applicable to all states, not just to the state of Punjab. Of course, they made directives to states like Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan last time around too, but these are directives for all states, particularly on the issue of farm fires. The court has also asked states to use technology to examine the issue of farm fires, and they reiterated that there has to be a long-term plan or a relook at paddy cultivation. There have to be measures or incentives to decrease paddy cultivation over a period of time. Let's also tell you what the NGT, the National Green Tribunal, said. It came down heavily on the Punjab government once again, and here is what it has said. It asked the Punjab government, point us to one city where there's been improvement. Bhatinda continues to remain in poor category. These are the prevailing conditions in Punjab itself. They also went on to say that the report of the Punjab government and the satellite images are actually not matching. Cities in Punjab are engulfed in smoke. It's not just about that smoke travelling to places like Haryana and Delhi. The NGT importantly also went on to say, which even the court had talked about, that there has been some intervention possibly due to prayers of Delhiites, that it rained today, God came to your rescue. Even God realized nothing is being done at your end. These are words coming in from these bodies. Now, why are these bodies or the court, for example, so upset? Because despite its clear orders last time that farm fires have to stop, farm fires continue, although that number has dropped. And this is why the question emerges, why the numbers drop suddenly after a rap from the courts? Why was Punjab government failing to curb farm fires to this extent before the court stepped in? So let me give you a picture of what the farm fire situation in Punjab and neighbouring Haryana has been, because these are the two states that are being compared politically. Now, from November 5 onwards, farm fires really rose in Punjab. In fact, November 5 was the highest season day of 3,230 farm fire incidences being reported. In comparison, Haryana was only 109. Now, since then, the number has come down to about 1,500 on November 7, but went back to about 2,000 on November 8. Even though, on the other side, Haryana has managed to bring that number down below the 100 mark and to some extent below the 50 mark as well. But this is where it gets interesting. After the last Supreme Court order on November 9, suddenly the farm fires dropped to 639 in Punjab. And in Haryana, they have continued to come down to 27. But Haryana had achieved that mark even earlier, 2 days before. So the question is this: why is this sudden drop happening only after a rap on the knuckles in Punjab? Why was the administration failing to do its job till then? Meanwhile, cab service company Uber has written to Delhi Lieutenant Governor on ban proposed on taxis from other states into the national capital. So Uber wrote that all 70,000 Uber cars across NCR run on clean fuel or electricity or electric cars. It highlighted that unlike private cars, Uber is not contributing to pollution as much. It doesn't run on petrol and diesel. And they claim that because of these curbs that the government is proposing, it will actually force people to move to their petrol and diesel vehicles, that is, their private vehicles instead. Now, Uber says that this is a highly unnecessary step. It is going to cause inconvenience to NCR residents. A lot of people, working people, travel to and from Delhi in cabs, actually. They don't have private vehicles. Uber also says that this cab ban is impractical. It may lead to mobility lockdown, and asked the Delhi government to take an all-encompassing view based on scientific proof. Now that the government has decided to scrap odd even, it is unclear if this suggested ban on non-Delhi cabs into the national capital will still be in place. We're waiting to hear on that. But the big question we're asking today is this: why is it that the top court or other courts are having to do the job that politicians and governments are refusing to do?
The surprise rains that has happened just before the Diwali, the AQI national capital has dropped to around the 100 mark, but it can be seen as a massive relief for the people out here in the national capital.
जो pollution जो है घुल गया है, तो सांस लेने में अच्छा लग रहा है।
जो बारिश हुई है रात को, उसके काफी AQI लेवल भी अच्छा हो गया है, मौसम भी अच्छा है।
हम यहाँ पे आए इसलिए थे कि बारिश हो गई, एक तो मौसम बदल गया और पॉल्यूशन तो ऑलमोस्ट खत्म ही हो गया आज यहाँ पे।
Hello, Moto.
Let's go across to our guests joining us. Harish Khurana from the BJP, Siddharth Sharma from the Aam Aadmi Party join us. I'm also joined by Dr. Sanjeev Agarwal, former additional director of the CPCB, the Central Pollution Control Board. And Jayadhar Gupta is founder, My Right to Breathe. I do thank you all for your time. Let me begin with my non-political panelists today. Jayadhar, I want to begin with you. Why do you think governments are failing to really do what they should be able to do? For example, I pointed out there was a sudden dramatic drop of farm fires in Punjab a day after the court's orders. Why is it that this was not possible earlier?
Clearly, there's apathy towards anything related to health and the environment. If you look at the entire track record, both central and the state government, let's talk about AAP for a moment. 8-year runway with this problem of air pollution. In 2015, they were like, look, we acquired this problem. We don't have a clue. It's going to take us some time to come to grips. But, 8 years in, if you're telling me now that you have no data, you have no clue, and, you, as leadership, as the CEO of this state, you're just clueless and doing seat of the pant kind of measures at the last moment, you really need to step aside. I mean, these guys need to resign. This is a health and human crisis. This is a pandemic. This is a public health emergency. The way they are scrambling, trying to, do mechanical sweeping and trying to do these smog guns, these are not solutions to reverse air pollution. These are emergency measures. And I don't want to see emergency measures in my city. I don't want to reach an emergency in my city. And we are just, fed up. I mean, we are beyond frustration now because this is no way to live. This is pathetic. The cost of living in Delhi is very, very high. And this, the health cost of, living in Delhi is now becoming higher than the economic cost of living in Delhi.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm forced to become a pollution refugee year after year because I have bronchial asthma. My children have asthma. And this is not sustainable. We can't do this year after year.
Yeah,
And we
and
can't
the
hear
court
these
also remarked today, why is it that the governments are wrapped around theory and data and reports and just wondering what should be done? By now, as you said, 8 years down the line, governments should have acted. There should have been some concrete
Shivani,
plans.
I have seen Mr. Kejriwal with experts from Beijing in the same room. I have attended those meetings. Our government knows what needs to be done.
So what's the
They don't
problem?
want to do it. That's a different point. But what they're doing with us is, this is not a joke. We are talking about morbidity and mortality that is way beyond COVID. COVID is not even a patch of the kind of crisis we are dealing with in the northern part of India.
Okay.
And it's not just Delhi. I know Delhi gets the wrath of it, but it's everything from Lahore to Dhaka and everything in between. It's not just Delhi, it's all of North India where there's a problem. There's a problem even in Srinagar for that matter. It's a valley and there's no way to exhaust the air, and everybody burns over there to stay warm.
Okay.
So it's not just
I want to
Delhi
go.
issue.
No,
North
I get
India.
your point. I get your point. But clearly, there is a crisis that evolves around late October and early November because of the season of the paddy cultivation and the change of seasons in crop cultivation. And year after year, we cannot face that situation, even though we know what the problem is, which compounds the otherwise year-round pollution and air quality problem that Delhi and other cities have. So let me go across to Dr. Sanjeev Agarwal also. As a former additional director of the CPCB, there's a lot of responsibility on a lot of these bodies as well. Why is it that these bodies, state governments, the national government or the national capital government, all of them are looking like they're failing? What's the problem here? Why can't they, if they know what the problem is, why can't they execute certain solutions?
Yeah, actually, first of all, I would like to mention that why we are talking about that fires last day something like 3,000 and then today is 2,000 something like that. So you see, we need to understand the scientific phenomena. The air shed is a highly dynamic situation there. So whatever the pollutants are coming out from various sources, they merge together and then finally they form the peroxyacetyl nitrate. This is basically harmful to the human being, and this is forming only in the case when the situation become very worse. Means hydrocarbons are coming out from the pollutants, and other things are coming out like nitrogen dioxide and then sulfur dioxide, and also the formation of ozone. So I think these things creating a panic to the public also, and it is true.
No,
We
but
can
Mr.
see visibly.
Agarwal, with due respect, can I just step in? The public is not supposed to be concerned with the scientific phenomena. The public doesn't need to understand the nitty-gritty of why this is happening. This is why we elect governments, and this is why we have the bodies like the Pollution Control Board or the NGT or the CAQM, etc. My fundamental question is, as a citizen, and as the court also seemed to say today, why is it that we are just being told reports and data? Just do what needs to be done on the ground.
Yes, whatever that agencies are there, those who are involved, actually they are not reacting very fast, and they are not acting very fast. They are not taking action what they are supposed to take, and basically they are just behind the politicians. So I think this should be stopped. We should not play the blame game. Blame game is not the time today. I think we should. We are working for so many years, and then still we are talking about the same thing, and we are not doing anything. So the actions
what do
basically
you think
require
is the
the
fundamental
enforcement.
problem here? As someone who's worked with the CPCB, what is the problem? Why are these agencies or governments failing to deliver, sir? Is it because of politics?
The implementing agency at local level should act very fast. Basically, they are not doing their job what they are supposed to do.
Okay.
This is the main
so
thing.
you're saying they're
Enforcement is
apathetic to
main
the
problem.
situation, despite the fact that a lot of these people live in the national capital region themselves, their
One more thing, I
families,
just want to
and they
tell you one more
themselves
thing.
would be suffering the
I
same
just
air.
want to
But there's
mention one thing.
Yes, sir.
I just want to mention one thing, that now this is the situation where we have to think about more than emergency situation.
Yeah, that time has come
Whatever
and gone
the code
actually.
has suggested, yeah, we have to think more than an emergency situation. This is basically that the situation comes on the top level. Grade 4 we have applied. So there is nothing of grade 4. So I think we have to think more on that.
That's precisely the frustration, sir, that people are dealing with. That this should be done in the run-up to this season. All the sensitization, all the ground level preparation in states where farm fires are high should be done before we get to this season. We know the wind patterns, we know the crop cultivation patterns. Yes, all of that is fine, but fundamentally somebody has to act. Let me take that question to Siddharth Sharma also. I ran that data earlier. Siddharth, that data is running. Suddenly from 3,000, 2,000, a day after a rap on the knuckles by the Supreme Court, farm fires come down to under 650. Can you explain this to me? Can you explain to the public how suddenly you were able to control farm fires much better in Punjab?
Yes, rains. There are certain days in November also when it rains. For example, if today it is raining.
There was
today
no
in
rain
Delhi.
yesterday.
There was
in
no
Punjab.
rain yesterday. This is yesterday's data, November 9, not today's.
Don't lie.
Let me-
Your entire strategy is based on lies. This is not going to work.
If you have asked me to reply, just let me reply. Let your viewers discretion.
Okay, go ahead. Mr. Jay, I'll come back to you. Let Siddharth finish.
Everybody else, two people before me spoke. When whoever has spoken, he has spoken. I think the viewers are discreet enough to understand whether I'm speaking sense or not. Two things. One is whenever there are rains, there are less farm fires. Number two, point number
But was
two.
there rain yesterday in Punjab?
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'm coming to that. That's
then?
what I'm saying. Shivani, if you have asked me to speak,
But
let
sir,
me complete
your
the sentence.
explanation
Let me
cannot
complete
be
the
rains
sentence.
when there wasn't rains.
If you intervene mid-sentence, how am I going to complete?
Okay, finish your sentence.
Yeah, the second thing is that it's a fact that the farm fires are coming down because the season is ending. As of today, the cumulative farm fires in Punjab is less than 24,000. As of today, last year, it was more than 37,000. There has been a 37% drop as according to the PRS, the Punjab remote sensing data. That is a fact. So the farm fires are going to come down, not just in Punjab, but Haryana or other states also.
Can I come in now? Can I come in now? Can I take it one by
please.
one?
Now
So
you
you're
can,
saying,
because
one by one,
you
I'll give you more time. Siddharthji, I'll give you more time, one by one. So you're actually accepting that this drop in Punjab from 2,000 to 600 is actually not because of your efforts. It's because the season is coming to an end and because of these rains that you're talking about. It's not because of the Punjab government's efforts.
Did I say that, or are you putting
I don't know.
words
You
into my
didn't give
mouth?
your implementation as a reason why it has come down.
You did not let me complete.
No, I let you complete that point.
No, if you're not letting me complete and cutting me midway and putting words in my mouth, then it is up to you.
So I repeat my question. Why was
you
there a
asked me
sudden
question
drop?
and-
I repeat my
No,
question,
you ask
Siddharth.
me a question and give me a time frame.
I'll give you
5 seconds,
time.
10 seconds,
Why
15
was
seconds.
there
I'll
a
speak in
sudden
that-
drop?
Within that.
Siddharthji, calm down. Why was there a sudden drop from 2,000 to 600 farm fires in Punjab from November 8 to November 9?
How many seconds do I have to answer?
30 seconds, sir.
Yeah, the farm fires in Punjab are coming down because of the simple reason that they have been coming down since Bhagwant Mann government has come into power. There is a 36% drop. There are debates that it might even be as large as 56%, but let us agree to a 36% drop. That is happening because of biodecomposers and alternative seeds being provided by the Punjab government, because the long gestation paddy crop called Pusa 44 was banned, and that is why, because Pusa 44 is not being used, paddy is harvested early. A lot of farmers do not need to burn parali, and that is why the food security provider of India, the farmer of Punjab, is able to burn less parali, around 38%, 36%, and contribute to nation building. It's as simple as that.
All right. I didn't get the answer of why the drop happened between November 8 and November 9. You've given me a seasonal breakdown, and actually the season to season numbers will be compared at the end of the season. Right now it's almost 24,000 as far as the seasonal fire in Punjab is concerned. Last year and the year before that it was 28 to 29,000. So I don't think you can talk about this seasonal drop in the percentages that you're talking about.
90%, because 90% of the paddy cultivation, paddy harvesting in Punjab is over, just like in Haryana. 90%
So you
of paddy
again,
harvesting
you
in Punjab
again
is
bring me
over.
to the point, and I'll go across to Harish Khurana, that actually the season is almost coming to an end, so Delhiites can breathe easy. But they were not being able to stop those farm fires reaching 3,000, 2,000 when the season was high. That's the question I asked. How did they suddenly drop a day after Supreme Court's orders?
When Shiromani Akali Dal and BJP government was in power, on this same day 56,000 farm fires were there in Punjab. And today there are 23,000. That is what the improvement Aam Aadmi Party's Bhagwant
I'll compare season to season, sir, when the season is over. I think we're being premature about season to season comparison, but I take your word. Let Harish Khurana respond.
Shivani, this particular government of Delhi, especially led by Arvind Kejriwal, is a visionless government. As we are seeing, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson don't have a vision and don't have an answer of your question. What you have asked?
Sir, what is your data, sir? What is your data? Shivani was asking me regarding data and asking you regarding political statement. Don't give a political statement.
I'm asking you one second. Siddharthji, you're getting a little bit too rattled. I'm not sure why you're being so angry at people who are only asking questions about the government that is in power in Punjab. If you were not in power in Punjab, you would not be facing these questions.
Asking Aam Aadmi Party for data and letting the BJP spokesperson give a political response.
No, sir, you're being asked about data. Siddharthji, please calm down. You've been shouting at me for 5 minutes straight.
No, I'm not shouting out. I'm not shouting.
Please calm down. Jay, one second. Listen, you're the government in Punjab. You will be asked about the data from Punjab. I am not the only one doing it. Even courts are doing it. Harish Khurana will be asked a question about the central. Siddharthji, can you please? Siddharth Sharma, please. Don't tell me how to do my job. Because you clearly don't like it in governments to be told how to do your job. Even though you're responsible to crores of people. So don't. I am not going to take this tone. I'm being very respectful to you. You need to calm down. You need to stop shouting at me.
I'm not shouting. You invited me to your program.
Sir, I invite you every day and I love having you on my program. But you need to calm down. You need to calm down. You got your time. Let me please proceed.
Can I put the fader down?
Sir, I am not interested in your judgment of the anchoring. I'm sorry, that's a route taken when you can't answer my questions. I'm sorry.
I've answered all your questions.
I gave you time for that. I gave you time for that. Harish Khurana, please respond. They have said that your governments had failed and year on year there has been an improvement.
Can I come in now and without interrupting? I am expecting without interruption of Aam Aadmi Party now. He wants the data. He's saying that 37% has come down. But what about the comparison what you are giving? That Haryana mein parali hai, but Delhi, Punjab mein nahi hai. What is the data what you have given, Shivani? Is 93% of the total cases which are coming in from 15 September till 8th of November. 93% of the stubble burning are coming from alone from Punjab only. 22,961 cases from Punjab have come in comparison to 1,648 cases.
That's also because paddy cultivation is higher in Punjab. That's what they're saying.
Ma'am, the reason is whatever they want to give it, their convenience. But what do you remember 2 years back? This Arvind Kejriwal only blaming Amrinder Singh at that point of time that Punjab se parali aati hai. That is the only reason of Delhi pollution. Now, they are not talking at all of Punjab. We all know that in October, November, December, these kind of things happen. We all know that three eminent things. One is vehicle emission, one is stubble burning, and in one is dust particles. Are more than 60% of the pollution is coming from that area.
But Harish Khurana, listen, the courts are also talking about some long-term visions.
Shivani,
Harishji, one second. The courts are also talking about some long-term visions. I want to come to that question in just a bit. But there is a responsibility of the central agencies, which the Aam Aadmi Party has repeatedly talked about. It cannot be a one person or a one government job in a city like Delhi at least. Punjab, you leave aside. Yes, Punjab, the government alone is responsible for farm fires. They cannot shift the blame on that. But what about Delhi situation?
I'll come on to that. I'm talking about North India, total what the central government is doing it. 3,333 crore rupees have been given to Haryana, Punjab and Delhi-NCR for stopping the stubble burning and giving 1,23,000 CRM machines to Punjab, 80,000 to Haryana. Point is, when 80,000 machines have been given to Haryana, stubble burning can be stopped. Why not Punjab? Point number one. Point number two, if you talk about Delhi infrastructure, if you talk about Ghazipur to Meerut, who has built it? Center has built it. Eastern Western peripheral, because of that 60,000 odd trucks are not coming to Delhi and helping to reduce the pollution. Who has done it? Center has done it. If you talk about Dhaula Kuan expressway, where a lot of jam used to take place and pollution was at the peak, who has done it?
Okay,
Center has done
can
it.
I come in? You're talking about primarily vehicular pollution, which is an important aspect. But in my previous discussions, the Aam Aadmi Party-led government in Delhi has talked about, for example, that they're surrounded by BJP-led states, and those states are not doing enough, and that pollution travels to the national capital region as well.
Shivani, the problem is with Aam Aadmi Party, they are always in a denial mode. I mean, they do always a topi transfer. They are not what we're talking today. Is, and I agree with. I mean, these my expert people will also agree on that. More than 60% of these vehicle, I mean, this problem comes from these three things, ma'am: stubble burning, vehicle emission, and dust particles. Since last 7 years, we're listening कि mechanical sweeping आएगी. What has happened to that? Nothing. For encouraging public transport, we need buses. Since last 12 years, not even a single bus have been purchased by DTC. 700 buses have been given, electrical buses have been given by central government to Delhi. But what about Delhi government? They have not purchased a single DTC bus. Problem is this. And
Siddharth, you want to respond to that? It's been many years that the promise of 1,000 electric buses has been made. When are we going to see those buses?
800 buses already are on the road. For example, Delhi government has a grab policy. Delhi government has a winter action plan. Delhi government comes up with 24/7 electricity, which makes sure that diesel generator sets are not burnt. Delhi government has 2.2 lakh electric vehicles in Delhi. How many of them are there in Noida? I think we have to go back to what Supreme Court has said in its observation 2 days ago, that this can be solved through cooperative federalism. I think today's newspaper, I was reading the Hindu newspaper today, which said about what happened in the yesterday's cabinet secretaries meeting. It's very strange that although the Supreme Court said that cabinet secretaries, the central government has to call in cabinet secretaries from Rajasthan and UP also, there is absolutely no mention what they said. The Supreme Court also said that isn't it necessary that the Punjab farmers need to be given 50% compensation from the union government, that is the Modi government, and it is also
the court has very clearly said today. No, the court has very clearly said today, when they talk about decrease in paddy cultivation, it's a long-term thing. They have not talked about it happening immediately or even this year, and that is a long-term solution, and that is something that all governments should look at. Jay has been wanting to come in. Yes, Jaydhar.
Look, Shivani, I don't want to hear about a winter action plan. I mean, this is like us being in denial, and it tells me that these guys don't have a clue. This is a 365-day problem. These guys are a joke. And have you seen the air pollution? We are going to keep getting further and further behind. We are already losing the battle, and we are going to keep getting further and further behind. Let's talk about the base load of Delhi. From vehicular emissions, from solid waste management, we don't have any solid waste management, okay? From biomass burning, because the poor people still light their chulas using biomass. Biomass burns everywhere, okay, because of poverty. Why are we not addressing these issues? The winter action plan is a joke.
I also don't understand. If there's a winter action plan, how does the winter action plan does not include action on farm fires, when that is the 30 to 40% contributor to Delhi's air today?
Even in the monsoon time, when we have the best air, AQI is 100. I don't want a winter action plan.
Not comparable to what it should be.
I want AQI under 25.
Yeah, I get your point, Jaydhar.
It's not worth it to live in this city.
Dr. Sanjeev Agarwal, I want to come on the larger point of this whole paddy cultivation issue. The AAP government is saying that, we've done our bit on ground. Different seeds are being used. The window has been changed a little bit, and that has all made a difference. I haven't seen any broad-based use of the fertilizer they talk about in Punjab. We've been on ground and we've been doing a lot of reports. All you see is farm stubble fires, not so much some of the other things being used. Some of the machines we have seen in action on ground though. But what do you think can be done as far as this greater problem of paddy cultivation that the courts keep talking about?
Actually, the first thing is that we should take care about that. We should stop immediately the burning first. How basically we have to move it through some kind of andolan. All farmers should be asked together and they should stop it burning first. The government of India already given lot of money for the use of that paddy, and they are basically in the process. But I don't see much any kind of machines which are provided by the funds provided by the central government as well as state government. So this is the first thing. Second thing is that whatever the pollution is coming out from these farm fires is basically a seasonal phenomena. It is not a daily. So
Yeah,
why
okay.
this is happening only in winter? Because the smoke is coming out from there from the long distance,
And the
and
wind is
then they
settling in the
form
national
together,
capital.
as I mentioned.
Okay. Yes,
Sorry.
Jay, I've got limited time. I can give you maybe 20 seconds.
I just want to say this is
Yeah.
a very
Okay. So I think
we need to
they should,
change the crop mix in Punjab. The other
whatever
thing
the direction
that
has
needs
been
to
given
be
by the Commission for Air Quality Management, they should go for that.
Okay. Yes, Jay, finish, please.
so one, we need to change the crop mix in Punjab. You've
Yes.
incentivized the growth of paddy, which was never a native crop to Punjab. Two, I think we need to examine what variety of paddy is being grown in Punjab, because I have land in Uttarakhand and my guys want this paddy residue for their cattle. I mean, they say it keeps the cattle warm in the winter time, peak winter time. So why is it that the residue in Punjab has such high silica and it cannot be used for cattle or anything else?
Okay.
I think this needs to be examined.
Yeah,
What are
it's
the
also the window of the next crop, which is so short. That is also what creates the problem, where they don't have time enough to, remove the stubble manually, which was otherwise happening. This is a complex problem. We'll keep taking this on. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. But certainly, the courts reminding governments of what they need to do and need to do before the problem becomes what it is. Time for a